and today we're reacting to the worst punishments in human history that will make your toes curl. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all show love, man. I gotta spam it. To the next few days are gonna be spammed of me telling y'all at the beginning of the video that my Astral Dior Plus channel got a strike. So here I'm gonna be spamming videos. I need y'all's love on this channel and the more Astral Dior channel where I'm spamming videos. So let's do it.
The most painful punishments from around the world.
Spanish boot.
Well, of course the Spaniards are going to be on this list. Them suckers tortured half-truths out of people for over 350 years during the highly unexpected Spanish Inquisition between 1478 up until 1834. Now, when you're performing painful public...
What they got going on in here? Let me see what they cooked up. Okay. Tying a man and putting his feet next to a toolbox. That don't look too bad. Okay, well, over here, this one, it look bad. We got some type of spinning top. We're putting it to someone's mouth while everybody partying and having fun, and somebody's writing a book, and then they got a cross right here. See, these paintings don't tell me nothing. All it tells me is that people were maybe getting hurt, but what's happening here? Oh, this person is actually okay. They're not having a party. They're pulling somebody up. Got it. So it's more torture.
Persecutions for such a long time, you're gonna.
But why are these people scribing about it in the corner right here, though?
Come up with pretty colorful ways to do it. Ways to inflict maximum pain to ensure that you extract those dubious confessions from those filthy non-Catholic heathens.
What's this one?
It's no wonder that history was blessed with devilish devices designed to do just that. You had the Spanish spider, the Spanish collar, the Spanish tickler, very different from the French variety, the Spanish donkey, and the star of this segment, the Spanish boot. Originating somewhere during the Inquisition times, the Spanish boot was a very basic, yet very effective interrogation tool. Help. 4 planks of wood and a few bits of metal.
Oh, man.
You got your braces for holding the wooden splints and sharpened metal nails to make you squint. The legs of the victim would be secured in place between the 2 inner free-moving braces. The 2 outer planks are secured to each other, preventing any outward movement. Not that you would want to, because, you know, sharp nails and such. Once the victim was sat down, a large wooden wedge would be placed in between the inner planks.
How do you come up with this? How do you come up with this?
Locking the victim's legs. And I'm sure your imagination is a few steps ahead here. The interrogator equips his iconic giant hammer and rears back, preparing to strike. Are you sure you don't want to confess your crimes? Because this
Oh, no. Oh, no. If this is how crimes are handled now these days of human rights, you know, people lost certain rights. A lot of it, like, it would be a lot, the crime rate would drop. There would be a lot of confidential or informants. People would be telling on their mans. You know what I'm saying? Who committed this murder? You know what I'm saying? You have two dudes, 3 dudes in there. They get one of them. You might as well just go ahead and turn yourself in because I'm telling on you. I'm not suffering.
Pulsating sack of meat. It's about to treat you like one of them carnival tests of strength.
Damn!
With one swift blow from the hammer, the wedge drives the inner boards outwards, lacerating your legs, shattering your shins, and crushing your calves. The pain is pure agony. And that was only the first strike. Additional slams from the mallet reduce your legs down to something resembling burger meat. Remember when you could walk like 30 seconds ago? Yeah, me too. Now, despite the Iberian identity...
Oh my gosh. Somebody drew it too. I know, buddy, like, here, look how he looking. They had to grab somebody to hold him. Hold him still.
There were many variations of the Spanish boot throughout history. The Scottish first dabbled in boot torture even before the Spanish, tightly binding victims' legs in saturated leather. The bindings would then be heated over an open fire, shrinking the leather and constricting the legs to the point of snapping bone.
Wow.
The French even got in on the action with their own version. The victim would be bound and gagged on a wooden chair with both feet placed in a single oversized iron boot. It would then be filled with either boiling water, boiling oil, or even molten lead. And if you're unaware, pure lead melts at around 622 degrees Fahrenheit or 328 degrees Celsius.
622, bro. You know how when you step outside on a hot summer day and it's 95 and you like, oh my, bro, you that the heat that makes you mad. 622 degrees Fahrenheit, bro. That's all I have to say. I'm telling though.
For comparison, just 2 seconds of exposure to 150 degree Fahrenheit water is enough to cause 3rd-degree burns on human skin. Victims of the French boot would have their skin and their muscles boiled off of their bones or encased in a big hunk of lead. Better get to confessing, or at least make up something convincing. Oh, this shit sucks. You ever hear the term an eye for an eye? Well, the literal form of this would be the toe-curling, face-scrunching practice.
The person that, like, inflicted these punishments, like, was in charge of, you know, like, whatever the job title is for torture. That's somebody that probably had a lot of sleepless nights from just the screams of terror from all the people that were tortured by him.
Of Abacination. Popular amongst ancient Greeks, Persians, and within the Byzantine Empire, Abacination is a form of corporal punishment, meaning that the goal isn't death, but rather to teach the victim a lesson. In this case, how not to see anymore. That's because Abacination is the act of inflicting intentional or oftentimes irreversible damage to one's eyeballs. Hey. What the fuck? Your bulbous oculi have a myriad of nerves ready to send your brain big ouch signals the moment they detect discomfort. And boy, are they about to feel some discomfort. Although it was mainly used as a punishment for heresy or treason, the act of annihilating one's eyes existed all across human history. Perhaps one of the most popular examples of this was executed by Byzantine Emperor Basil II. After defeating the Bulgarians at the Battle of Cladion, Big Bad Basil had taken thousands of enemy soldiers hostage. He had ordered that the men be divided into groups of 100 and brought before him. It was then he had his men gouge out the eyes of 99 of the soldiers.
Whoa. Whoa, 99 scoops?
Sparing one who would be allowed to keep one eye.
Wow.
That lucky duck would be the one to lead his now blinded comrades back to their respective commanders. Now, according to legend, this mass blinding was conducted on 15,000 men, granting Basil II the vicious title of Basil the Bulgar Slayer.
Wow.
But how would this blinding actually be?
What a way to send a message to somebody. Scoop everybody's joints. Lead them back to your person. For him to say, whoa, because imagine you waiting on your men to get back, see if they won. They come back, everybody got each person holding somebody else's shoulders while the person in front got one eye, telling you about what happened.
Performed. Well, it's really up to how the person doing it felt that day. Traditionally, Abacination was carried out by jamming a red-hot iron rod into the ocular cavity, essentially melting the eye from the skull. Other flavors of removal included scooping with a spoon-like device, slitting with a blade, using preposterous pressure to pop them like pimples, or just leaving it up to good old chemistry. Now, if you really pissed someone off, you would be strapped to a chair while corrosive liquid, usually boiling vinegar, was placed in soluble cups and positioned over your eyes. The corrosive agents would slowly eat away at the bottom of the cups.
My eyes are hurting
eyeballs,
right now,
which
bro.
would painfully dissolve away. At that point, you'd be luckier to die than to survive. But couldn't they just close their eyelids? Oh, you mean these? Yeah, they cut those off too. Don't worry, it was only a little painful. See what I did there? No, you didn't. That's fine.
Yeah, that one, my eyes are literally my eyes are very bothered right now. I just want to keep them closed. I just want to keep my eyes closed now, bro. I really might actually have to take a break from the video for a second. Maybe this actually feels better if I look over
for this
here.
one, because that's exactly what's about to go down, and your legs are about to go up. This is the Tiger Bench, a Chinese torture device popularly used in China from the Imperial Age up through today. That's right, the International Society for Human Rights, a German-based non-governmental non-profit organization, claims that multiple inhumane torture devices like the Tiger Bench are still used on prisoners in China to this day for extracting confessions or flat-out torture just because. It's true, probably. And the same applied to its use in the Imperial Age. During the times of the Ming and Qing dynasties between the 14th and 20th centuries, the judicial system required a confession to legally convict a criminal for their crimes, since forensics at the time weren't all that great. Unless you had notable status to sway public opinion, the perpetrator would basically have to be caught red-handed by multiple witnesses. He ran into my...
That's one thing. Back then, during this time period, how do you, with no cameras, how are you getting caught? You gotta be an idiot. How are you getting caught, bro? Honestly.
Knife. He ran into my knife 10 times. He had it coming. But what do Tiger Bench do, you ask in poor English? It's very simple. The victim is delicately slammed onto a wooden bench in a sitting position, their hands and ankles bound by ropes, and their mouths...
This is a freaky-ass punishment, ain't it? Jesus! Why he grabbing his hair like that? He got him gagged, and this is a freaky one, huh?
Gagged with, I don't know, probably a piece of cloth or something. They would also have their torso and thighs secured to the bench to prevent any unwanted thrashing from the pain that they were about to experience. One by one, bricks or wooden slabs would be placed under the victim's piggies, slowly elevating them higher and higher while the rest of their body remained locked in place. Now, unless you have the Tibio Taylor talent of a turkey, you can see where this is going. With each addition of a brick, your ligaments in your knees become hyperextended, painfully forcing your knee joint beyond its natural range of motion. If any of you less than limber people remember the ungodly sit and reach box from your middle school gym classes, just imagine that, but someone grabbing your arms and pulling you with all of their might. Then you might just get a lick of what that pain must feel like. The continuous hyperextension eventually leads to the shattering of the kneecaps and the splintering of the leg bones, utterly destroying muscles and tendons, rendering the victim's legs completely useless. Trust me, although this guy seems untroubled, inside, he's screaming. And if that weren't enough, prisoners would be bound...
Oh God, this is what it looked like? Why? I know I'm not... I know... This video's not doing it justice, but this one don't look that bad. I ain't gonna lie. This one look almost like a good stretch. They was probably faking. They was probably faking. This probably didn't even really hurt like that. They were just like, oh yes, finally, I got this punishment, not the one with the eye gouge. Yeah, they just screaming on purpose just to make it seem like they getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? Look at this haircut, boy. Hat front bald. I know we've seen this before, but front bald, back long hair. This is an interesting, like, yo, this is how we cut. This is how we doing. The front is bald, the back is long. This is how we cut our hair. It's an interesting one.
Found in this position for days on end, to the brink of starvation and full sleep deprivation from the ongoing pain. Not only from the hyperextension, but from physical beatings to the rest of their body if they continue to refuse to confess. They don't know I'm a double-jointed masochist. Despite what the chill demeanors on these...
Whoa. Yeah, y'all got it, bro. Anybody that can sit here and do this, y'all got it, bro. And why he's smiling about it. Y'all two got it, bro.
Fellas' faces express, getting sawn vertically in half is not a pleasant experience.
Y'all got
Although
it, bro.
the act of sawing has been present throughout many different cultures in history, ancient Roman and Chinese versions were mainly done transversely, or at the waist. But some sadistic buttholes thought, nah, not painful enough. Let's try a different axis. And you know what? Let's hang them upside down, too. We'll start shredding the sack, split the crack, go down the hall, and to the skull. The method is pretty self-explanatory. A victim will be hoisted up upside down with arms and legs secured to two posts, usually with their
Were they broadcasting this to the townsfolk, bro? The townsfolk gotta even say this one not it, bro. This probably was one of the shorter ones where they were like, hey, we don't do this anymore. This is like, if I'm a king somewhere or an emperor, whatever, we're not doing this one. This one is not on our list of... Nah, I don't want to find out anybody was doing this one. This was going to piss me off, bro.
Bits out. The condemned would then have a big ol' saw ripped through their bodies like a slice of birthday cake. On the bright side, the poor soul would most likely be long dead or at the very least unconscious before the saw ever got that far thanks to the excruciating pain and severe blood loss. Documented cases of this particular path of punishment are rare, but some stories have survived. The most known case being that of Simon the Zealot, one of the 12 apostles of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If you've ever seen Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, he's the less detailed guy all the way at the end of the table getting ridiculed by these two fine gents for asking, when can we eat? Very little is known about poor Simon at all, being only passively mentioned in the Bible. History states that he preached across Egypt and Persia, with the latter being the place of his demise. Apparently, the Persians weren't too happy with the door-to-door preachings of Simon, so much so that they saw to his end. Literally. According to some historians...
What? Simon, no, don't tell me that happened to you, bruh.
Around the year 65 AD, at the age of 60, Simon was spread in two while spreading the word of the Lord. For his dedication to the J-Man, Simon was made a saint in the Catholic Church, with many depictions of him holding a long saw.
Whoa, no. Simon, they did that? And then why did they put the saw, like... if y'all made a statue of me, bro, I don't want to be holding the weapon that violated me like that. Keep that away. Yo, shout out to the apostles, bro. Shout out to the apostles. What I want to say right now, God already know it's as bad as, you know, and I'm a firm believer in God. God is good all the time. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. When they got me and they flipped me over and put the saw to me like this, I might have been having to say all things that they want. What do y'all want from me, bro? I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lord, please forgive me, Simon. Please forgive me for that. But this was, hey, shout out to you for, man, woo!
Similar to the one that ripped through his being. Ironically enough, he was also made the patron saint of tanners.
Bro, stop putting this saw next to me.
And sawyers, which really sucks. I mean, imagine the way you died being your eternal legacy. Like, oh damn, guys, you hear that Peter got nailed by a 37 Nissan Altima last week? Better make him the patron saint of pedestrians. But hey, when you walk with Jesus, we're all jaywalkers.
Ants. We just watched the ant video.
Oftentimes we find that nature is already well equipped with possible torture resources, and it doesn't even have to be something large or intimidating. Sometimes it's the small things that pack the biggest punch. Well, turns out that quite a few groups of people around the world took advantage of nature's blessings. Like this little guy. This is a Pseudomyrmex triplarinus, but you can call it a little ouch. This agonizing arthropod is a venomous species of ant most commonly found in the northern areas of South America. These ants contain a cytotoxic venom, which if you remember my little toxins rhyme from my worst jobs in history video, you'd know that cytotoxins cause extreme cellular damage and painful swelling, making it a perfect tool for devastating torture. For this section, we actually have a very modern use case. Back in 2014, a group of Bolivian villagers in the province of Ayopaya apprehended a pair of teenagers accused of stealing several motorcycles. Since the run-of-the-mill judicial penal system wasn't deemed effective enough, the villagers took matters into their own hands. The two upstanding criminals, aged 18 and 19, were strapped to a tree infested with venomous ants.
Wow.
For 3 days.
Wow.
The young men writhed in pain for hours and hours on end, sustaining bites all over their bodies from head to toe. Ooh. Chests were chomped, calves were crunched, nipples were nipped, and balls were bitten. It was only after being found by one of their sisters that the young men were freed from their pincer prison. Well, also after all of their relatives
they just forgot about them?
Coughed up about $3,700 in cash as compensation for the bikes that were stolen.
Wow.
Gotta pay back your debt after all. Both men were rushed to intensive care, with one requiring dialysis to survive.
Wow.
But I bet they learned a valuable lesson. Don't take shit that doesn't belong.
Yeah, I'm not stealing nothing after they put me on the ant tree. That just made me itch.
To you. There have been other claims of ant torture throughout history.
They laughing at them.
As a warning, these are more anecdotal than confirmed. It is said that the Apache people of the southern US and northern Mexico regions were capable of committing horrible acts of violence, but hey, when you're forced off your land, what are you gonna do? One such act was taking prisoners of war and burying them neck deep in the earth, allegedly near anthills containing red harvester ants. With a simple prod to the hill, thousands of ants pour out to defend their home, and being the nearest target, looks like you're the culprit. The red harvester ant latches onto your skin with its strong Chad-like mandibles and proceeds to repeatedly stab you with its stinger. Once stung, pheromones are released, chemically signaling other ants to swarm you. Your lips, your mouth, your ears, and even your eyes are all susceptible to the stings. The intense pain from just a single sting has been described as feeling like being prodded by a searing hot needle, lasting up to 8 hours. So it goes without saying that thousands of those would really suck. But don't worry, it's...
Imagine this. Imagine on your horse, on a stroll or something, and you see a man buried a head sticking out the ground, and it's just to find out that it's a man buried in the ground. You found that, and he's probably unconscious because all these ants in his face is all swollen. What do you do? Like, what do you do?
well documented that around...
I ain't gonna lie, in a time like that with my horse, I'm probably like, yeah, he did something to deserve that. Let's keep pushing.
500 stings would be enough to kill a human. You're probably getting all itchy just thinking about them things crawling all over you, aren't you? Well, now you are. Our last stop on this journey takes place in the big old continent of Africa. Having dealt with colonization for centuries, many countries of Africa are no stranger to pain. In fact, they're pretty good at dishing it out, especially to each other. Now, the concept of trial by ordeal is not exclusive to Africa. It's been seen across Europe, Persia, India, and Cambodia as well, but this segment focuses on Africa. Why? Because that's how I wrote the script and that's how I'm editing this video, so... Okay, so the idea behind the trial by ordeal is to determine the guilt or innocence of the accused through various means of torture. If you survive, you're innocent. If you die, you're guilty. Not that it mattered
like some Salem witch trial.
But there were many different ordeals to be trialed through. These are going to be a bit rapid fire, so stick with me. And speaking of which, the first one is the trial by fire. The accused would either be forced to walk along a length of hot coals, hold scalding hot metal, or retrieve items from cauldrons of boiling hot oil. If the victim showed no visible signs of injury, they would be considered innocent.
How about hey, okay, bet. If that's the case, you do it. If he is innocent, the person telling me to do this, hey, if you innocent, you do it. None of us are gonna get out of this.
But that's just setting people up for failure.
Like, bro, there's no way that many people were so stupid, bro. There's just no way.
These examples of trial by fire have been historically documented across Togo, Nigeria, and Sudan. Next was the self-explanatory trial by poison. The accused would drink toxic concoctions consisting of various local...
I got 2 minutes left in this video. Let me call you right back. I'm about to be right now as soon as I finish this one.
Poisons. In Liberia and Ghana, victims enduring the trial would be forced to ingest the bark of the sassywood tree. Alright, which one of you drank all the sassywood juice? No, I don't want to drink that stuff. Nope. Was it you? The bark of the sassywood tree contains erythroflein, a powerful poison that can fuck up your heart. But as long as you regurgitate that slop out of your system, you're right as rain, and considered innocent. Similarly, some prisoners in Sierra Leone or Nigeria would drink a solution made from the calabar bean, which contains physostigmine, an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. If you've never seen my chemical weapons video, this is just a fancy way of saying that it causes life-threatening seizures and a loss of your respiratory control, causing you to choke to death. One final trial would be the trial by water. Popular in pre-colonial Côte d'Ivoire, the accused would have their hands and feet bound and be tossed in the local river. Those who were able to break free of their bindings and swim to the surface were absolved of their crimes, while those...
Whoever tied my hands up, I'm in their ear like, yo, bro, please. Please just make it a little bit loose, bro, so I can get up out of here. Thank you, bro, please.
Who sank like stones were doomed to figuratively and literally drown in their guilt. Talk about washing away your sins. Well, that's all I got for this one. If you had fun learning about...
Golly, that's painful. I don't know what I just did. That being said, like the video, sub up, comment up, visit the channel, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Great for y'all. Thank y'all for supporting me through all of this. We gone, man.